polygons of tornado warnings happening right now. Minnesota's Weather Authority is staying on the job. It's the story that our entire weather team has been telling you all day long. Ren said it. Matt said it. I'm going to tell it to you again.
We do want to get right to meteorologist Reece. He is here with your forecast first alert. This is dangerous heat today. There are chances of severe weather tonight as well, Chris.
We've got meteorologist Reece with us with today's forecast first alert. Some people in our state already seeing some of these storms, but we've got more moving in later, Chris.
Absolutely. This afternoon and evening is going to be the period to watch, even though we already have some thunderstorms out there this morning. I'm going to be quite frank, this has my attention. We are now starting to see this little area bow out. This is going to be a key indicator of where you could see some damaging wind. It is not severe at the moment, but I'm alerting you to the fact that this has my attention. I'm going to continue to watch it, and what that means for you is to stay aware. Now, as we go throughout the show, I'll track this line. If we get a severe thunderstorm warning on this line, I will let you know. And it's a team effort all the way through the afternoon and evening. You see some of those buildings there out in the distance. And of course, you will see those flashes of lightning pretty much all morning long, really all day long, as we have multiple chances for rounds of showers of thunderstorms. I want to start with the storm that is severe. This is Faribault, Freeborn, and Waseca counties. I have a severe thunderstorm that goes until 5:45. This is where we have a dangerous severe thunderstorm right now. This is for Blue Earth and Faribault counties until 5 o'clock this morning with wind speeds up to 70 miles per hour. Let me stop the radar. You see where that is. A lot of heavy rain around Highway 169 from Elmore to Blue Earth toward Winnebago. Your strongest wind gusts are going to be out ahead of this storm, and those will continue to push toward the east as well. But as we push a little bit later, that's where we start to see the steadier rain, and it's closer to the evening that we'll see stronger thunderstorms move through. Once again, we're concerned about the wind and the heavy rain potential. Yeah, there could be some hail in some spots as well. Look at how we see some of that heat building toward us. This is late next week, and we could see not one, but 2 rounds of warmer temperatures. Within 30 minutes, over 120 degrees in the car, and within an hour, it gets warmer than 130 degrees inside of your car. We've had some intense tornadoes around Nebraska today. And what this tells me is that there's a whole lot more energy still in the atmosphere, and what that means for you is that you got to be prepared for more rain to work its way northward. Here's what I'm looking for. It's redevelopment of some showers of thunderstorms, and I'm actually starting to see that. Watch this with me. Look at the screen. You see these isolated bubbles starting to show up part of the state. This is what everyone wants to know about, though. It is the heavy snow. It is still locked and loaded come Sunday. 10 to 16 inches of snow, that's going to be the highest band. And you're going to notice that across northern and central Minnesota, Brainerd, St. Cloud, Lake Henry, and Alexandria. Here in the metro, it's 6 to 10 inches of snow. 6 o'clock, we'll see more and more of that rain moving northward. By 7, we'll start to watch that colder air moving into the mix. This is now 8. We're going really hour by hour on this yet. But do stay aware of changing weather. Stay tuned to Minnesota's Weather Authority. I'm here. Meteorologist Matt Surrey is here this evening. I'll be back here in the morning, and we'll walk you through it. They're out in full force right now, but you'll want to be careful to not slip and fall, because this year, Old Man Winter left us an icy trick. The weather outside is frightful.
It's a forewarning of what's to come. This is not really even cold yet.
Tonight, the massive winter storm, more than 1,000 miles wide, now racing across the heartland. Drivers sliding off the road on I-35 north of Des Moines. Plows racing to keep up with the heavy snow. 16 states on alert.
We have winter storm warnings and the pink blizzard warnings and winter weather advisories pretty much all across Minnesota. But I'll tell you, I've been back in the Twin Cities after landing from Dallas earlier this morning. The snow was coming down, and even then, most of the roads have been just wet. And hopefully what chooses to give would be the clouds above. Now, I do have to say, I was actually amazed by just how great all these vines looked this afternoon. They're green, they're lush, they're thriving, and all they need is a little bit of rain to keep it that way. But Friday's storms left corn stalks snapped and soybean stems broken. It's left farmers with a reminder of a phrase that we know all too well: be careful what you wish for.
when you pray for rain that you're going to get some damage with it.
Paul and Leah, it has been a busy day here in North Hudson, and you could also say it has been a noisy day as residents and crews are really working to clean up the damage. Scenes like this. So earlier today, I made a promise to my friend from Australia who'd never seen snow that even though we can't make a snowman with this, that we would be able to make a snow angel. So that's what's happening right now. We are going to embrace the snow. Let's go.
All right.
So it is snow angel time.
Man, look at you. A snowstorm during Holy Week. Hallelujah, Chris Reece.
Right.
God is shining down
yes.
upon you. This is it.
Well,
been
once
waiting
again, I'd
for
like
it.
to thank you for making me the second best dressed man on set. Okay.
I appreciate
yeah.
it. I went with the Delta Airlines look today.
Yeah,
You do.
like
You do.
that.
I was
I
like,
work at
you
the
know-
airport. I was going to ask you for directions.
Chris, if you're still there, we have a lot of action in the weather, and we have a lot of action here as well. Shaletta Brundage went to change, and she wants to meet you with her new outfit on. I don't know if Chris is still there, but
But wait, he's here. Chris
There he
is in
is.
the studio. Come on up. It's so good to see you. We have not met. We are friends on Twitter. See, somebody in this building accepts my friend request on social media. It is so
I
good.
continue to get thrown under the bus.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you. You do such a great job. But you know, this is social media for me. How you keep us
Hey,
updated on.
Shaletta, can you
We
say
got a
we'll be right-
show.
say we'll be right back.
We'll be back, y'all. We'll be back. We'll be back. We ain't going away. We'll see you in a minute.
It's 8:45. Minnesota's Weather Authority meteorologist Chris Reece with us this morning. It's been a busy morning right from the get-go here, and we're still under the forecast first alert.
Yes, we are. That's because we're still going to see heavy rain. We're still going to see a round of severe thunderstorms potentially later on. This morning's round of severe weather has started to tame down just a little bit. But still, the forecaster's alert, that's today and tonight for flash flooding and severe storms in central and southern Minnesota. I've got another one in the forecast tomorrow. So it's not just today. Tomorrow we could see more of the same. That's especially true into the evening hours on Tuesday. Roads, they're wet. Take a look at those. Hannah's going to be tracking those still. It is raining, and it's 57 degrees here in the Twin Cities. This is radar and satellite. You see that rain from western Wisconsin all the way through parts of south and western Minnesota as well. Here's your stronger thunderstorms. Those are now over Wisconsin, starting to move out of the viewing area, but we still have steady rain here in the metro. Once you get west of Laconia out toward Cokato, it's still cloudy. It's a little lighter in terms of the steadier rain coming down, but more rain develops into the afternoon and evening. Mankato, south toward Fairmont, you still have steady rain, and there's more where that came from all the way back towards South Dakota and Nebraska. I expect that to lift toward the north. We have flood watches in play today and tomorrow. This is because we're still going to be looking at that potential for some flash flooding. It's all over the state today. Tomorrow, your risk for flash flooding is a little bit farther toward the south and east. Let's talk about Wednesday. That's the driest day I have in the forecast. Your risk for flash flooding Wednesday is real low, but as we go towards Wednesday night into Thursday, that's going to creep back up north, and on Thursday, once again, flash flooding is going to be possible. If you watched pretty much any time throughout the weekend, I showed you this graphic, and I really kind of walked you through where we were in our pattern. This is where we are now. We're now at the stalled out stationary front. As a wave of low pressure rides along that later on, it's going to lift toward the north, taking the focal point of our heavy rain to northern Minnesota tonight. Tomorrow, that's going to slide back toward the south as our wave of low pressure moves towards our north and east. And that focal point for heavy rain and storms will be right on top of us yet again. So here's Storm Tracker. Let me show that to you. 12 o'clock, we could still see some showers of thunderstorms out there today. This is now 5. We're starting to go north with that boundary. Again, some strong thunderstorms will be possible for your evening commute. Overnight, that continues to our north. Tomorrow, we could even start the day with some sunshine here across the metro, but then clouds will start to increase, and by tomorrow night, here comes the front. And we could again see those strong to severe thunderstorms with the heavy rain potential again. This pattern could bring us as much as 4 to 6 inches of rain, if not more, between now and the upcoming weekend by Saturday night. So do be prepared for flash flooding. That's one of the big things. The bottom line, be prepared for flash flooding. Also, stay aware of severe weather potential, especially today and tomorrow. And then turn around, don't drown. If you are driving, I do want you to know that most flood deaths occur in cars. So if you encounter high water, turn around, don't drown. Here's your 7-day forecast from Minnesota's Weather Authority. Your 2 forecast first alerts. Juneteenth, a lot of us are off. We've managed to get a dry day there, but the rain chances return Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and oh my. Yeah, I actually have a dry day in that forecast. It's Sunday, sunshine and comfortable at 80.
Wow, that's going to be crazy when they're
Huge.
We've got meteorologist Chris Reece with us with today's forecast first alert. Some people in our state already seeing some of these storms, but we've got more moving in later, Chris.
Absolutely. This afternoon and evening is going to be the period to watch, even though we already have some thunderstorms out there this morning. We're talking about severe storms for most of Minnesota and northwestern Wisconsin, and it's northeastern Minnesota that has the best chance for some storms later. This is what I've been watching as we've gone throughout the morning. I've been tracking this line of showers of thunderstorms. The heaviest of that is now across the southern part of the metro. There's been lightning and thunder from Cannon Falls through Northfield back toward Faribault and farther back toward the south and west as well. This is what I'm watching, and I'm going to be quite frank, this has my attention. We are now starting to see this little area bow out. This is going to be a key indicator of where you could see some damaging wind. What I'm also starting to see in this is some heavier rain. You're starting to see the dark reds, the pink as well. This is an indicator that not only do we have strong winds with this, we have heavy rain, we have the potential for some big hail inside of this thunderstorm as well. It is not severe at the moment, but I'm alerting you to the fact that this has my attention. I'm going to continue to watch it, and what that means for you is to stay aware. Now, this whole bowing line, which continues to extend even farther toward the south and west, that's working its way gradually toward the south and east. First and foremost, I don't expect this to impact the metro. This particular line would miss us to the south, but Nicollet, it's there right now. Henderson at 11:08, St. Peter by 11:10, Belgrade by 11:15, Cleveland that's 11:19, La Center by 11:23, Madison Lake just before 11:30, Montgomery just after 11:30, Waterville just before 11:45. So as we go throughout the show, I'll track this line. If we get a severe thunderstorm warning on this line, I will let you know. And it's a team effort all the way through the afternoon and evening as we continue to track severe weather as a whole. It is a slight risk, level 2 out of 5 for severe storms for the metro, and to our north, it is a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk. This is the reason for the forecast first alert, but Minnesota's Weather Authority will do what we do best, and that's keep your best interest in mind all morning long.
All right.
Okay, we've been talking about it in a number of days, so now we are ready for the timing of this storm number 2, Mr. Chris Reece.
Yeah, storm number 1, what we got last night, that was really just the appetizer to the main event. That'll be moving in as we get towards Sunday and into Monday, really as early as Saturday night. So Saturday, it's going to be a dry day. Clouds will be on the increase. We'll top out at 34, but Saturday overnight into Sunday, here comes that snow, likely mixing with some rain on Monday and then still a mix on Tuesday. So this will likely be a high impact event. Winter storm watches have been issued. They're from 7 a.m. Sunday through 10 a.m. on Monday. And everywhere where you have a winter storm watch, that's where there is high confidence that you will see at least 6 inches of snow. No winter storm watch to the south and east. That's not because you're not going to see snow. It's just a little bit iffy if you actually get all the way up toward that 6-inch mark, and we'll talk about that. But what's changed today is that the system has trended just a little bit warmer with a later arrival time, and your snow amounts have started to level off, so we're getting higher confidence in those amounts. What's the same is a heavy wet snow is expected across Minnesota that will bring abundant beneficial moisture. We've been in that drought, and some rain will likely mix in across parts of the south. Let's go to the west coast. This is where a storm is right now. You see this swirl and all the rain from Washington through Oregon into northern California. This is that moisture being pulled in out of the Pacific Ocean. We get towards Saturday, moisture is also going to start to stream up from the Gulf of Mexico. So this event is going to have 2 different sources of moisture, and that's why we're getting so much out of it. Now we're at 6 o'clock Sunday morning. Here comes that wave of low pressure. It's unzipping all of that moisture that's starting to travel northward, and that's where the snow begins to break out. Into the afternoon on Sunday, it's heavy snow. That heavy snow lasts overnight. Then at some point on Monday, we'll likely see a transition over to rain before we end as snow. Now, there's still a little bit of time for us to see some wobbles in the track. So if this shifts a little bit farther south, then we end up with more snow. If it's a little bit farther north, we'll get more of the rain. This is early morning hours on Sunday. Perhaps some light flurries early on, but midday, so go into your Palm Sunday worship services, you're going to be fine, but headed home, That's where that snow starts to move in, and it gets windy too. At times, we'll see winds gusting of 30, maybe 35 miles per hour, and by midnight, we are still in that heavy snow. There's that changeover to rain that I was talking about early on Monday. Snow amounts are going to be high, though. 12 to 15 inches from Duluth, St. Cloud, back toward Wilmer and Marshall. 6 to 12 inches or so right here in the Twin Cities. Let's zoom in. The Northwest Metro, you'll see those higher totals. Lower totals, though, to the south and east, but still 6 to 12, that's quite a bit. The bottom line is that the snow arrives Sunday. It's likely the heaviest of the season, and with it being a wet snow and it being windy, power outages are going to be possible with difficult travel, and at some point on Monday, we will see a changeover to rain, but you got to realize it's still a bit of a ways out, so we'll fine-tune that as we go throughout the weekend. Your 7-day forecast from Minnesota's Weather Authority. You see your forecast first alerts. Colder with a bit of a break Wednesday. Thursday looks dry, and then I'm tracking another system for Easter weekend. Could bring a wintry mix by Good Friday. So Minnesota's Weather Authority, we are staying busy. We're on the job. I'll be here all weekend long as well.
Sounds good, Chris. Thank you. And today's a big day. Today is 40 years since a tornado touched down in St. Anthony, Minnesota.
Yeah, this was a deadly and destructive storm. Chris, I know you spoke with a lot of folks who remember that day.
Yeah, had the opportunity to even speak with Dave Dahl, the former chief meteorologist here, who remembers that day very well. But when speaking to the St. Anthony Village Historical Society, they said this one hit close to home, and they remember it like it was yesterday. Where I'm standing now used to be known as Apache Plaza. But 40 years ago today, a storm would strike that changed its history.
We were dodging down wires and trees and so forth.
April 26, 1984, started like any other spring day at St. Anthony Village.
But then it turned into a summer day and a summer evening.
That evening, a warm front lifted north over southern Minnesota, reaching the Twin Cities metro by 8:30.
It was nice out like it is now, and all of a sudden, like God shut off the light switch, it just turned totally dark, totally black outside.
The best way to describe the St. Anthony area here last night, immediately after the twister touched down here so quickly, is chaos, utter chaos.
A tornado touched down on the southwestern side of St. Anthony Village and lasted for 8 minutes.
Here's where there was the fatality.
Bob Mansky, president of the St. Anthony Village Historical Society, remembers it well.
It then hit various houses on the way going on a north-northeast path. Further up, it crossed into Ramsey County, which is where Apache Plaza was.
Apache Plaza was a maze of broken glass.
We had nails all over the place.
Legendary 5 Eyewitness News meteorologist Dave Dahl recalls the day of the tornado and damage to his home.
Because some of the shingles stayed there, but the nails had been popped out. It knocked down trees on our boulevard. We had trees that were probably 150 years old.
A few blocks away, residents tried to salvage what they could.
With estimated winds of 150 to 200 miles per hour, the F3 twister carved a path of destruction that injured 52 and claimed 1 life.
It was hard to work through all of the feelings that are going through with that.
But the lasting memory was the way that St. Anthony Village came together to recover.
You could really notice it when you walked around, people helping everybody, you know, cleaning up and just helping and smiling. You know, people were smiling that they'd survived that storm.
I wasn't there 15 or 20 minutes when I had a knock on my door. It was neighbors helping neighbors.
Though a loss of power and short notice prevented sirens from sounding that day, many credit the work of local media for saving lives.
You know, television, radio, obviously played a big part in keeping people safe that night.
In St. Anthony Village, Chris Reece, 5 Eyewitness News.